wherever you're at today, for those on the phone, you have to think about how does your incentive structure and your compensation plans align to the behaviors that you need your teams to be able to do right now. You've got to make sure that like you create systems that drive the right behavior. If your sales reps are comped, with like a 3-year sunset period on revenue, for example, that they sign, they're always going to have this like connection and I think a little bit of distance from maybe the quarter to quarter performance, in their earnings. So you have to think about that in your plans as you design them.
Yeah. Only thing I'd add here, of course, yeah, it all depends on where you're at. I think a couple of things come to mind, like looking back at my previous experience, I was at Zendesk for a while. The last few years that I was there, and AE owned the account in perpetuity. They owned it forever. And then we had a separate customer success team that worked with them very, very closely with a true retention quota. Now that I'm at Figma, we've got an account executive team that does the initial sale and the initial onboarding. Then we have account management that picks it up from there and runs with it. And we're kicking off a process right now to kind of reimagine how we think about this exact question. The point is it's always going to evolve. I think the most important thing, though, is two things. One, you need to also approach it from the customer's perspective, not just how do we get the right person in the right role at our company to the right metric, but how does a customer need to be supported in order to not only realize value up front, but on and on throughout their journey with your company. So I think that's one. And then the other thing I'd add is just being very clear with expectations and having an intentional strategy, not leaving it up to just self-serve because you don't have time for it or the bandwidth for it. You need to have some kind of strategy for it, something that you're continuing to monitor and improve upon over time.
You're listening to Accords from Vendorship to Partnership. For more sales and startup insights like this, please be sure to subscribe here or at inaccord.com/podcast. Thanks for listening.